We are live. We are live. Thank you for coming, guys. Thank you for coming. And there's Entire Meyer and C and Royal Calvin and Carrie Galloway and Mr. Benton. Hello. And Dark Trooper. Hello, my friends. And yeah, I got this here. So we'll work on this later on. Hello, James Mason. Hello. Adult Beverage Friday, yes. Jason Jones. Hello, folks. Hello, my friends. So we're gonna go into. I'll open the box later on. We'll open the box later, and we'll get right into the topic first, and then we'll open the box and see what it looks like. I haven't opened it. It's completely sealed. I haven't seen it. Hello from Canada, Dynamo Joe, Vincent, Scott, hello, Dash Digital, EO, Eddie, and Dark Trooper, 8 Mandolin, hello, my friends, hello. So, the question that I'm just going to chat for a little bit is social media choices. Now that, well, there's kind of a couple issues here. One is the censorship side, and one is just the privacy side based on what I said in my YouTube video on Facebook and WhatsApp. So I want to kind of share my thoughts because people are not clear and they're always presenting some various kind of social media choice. And you'll find out that I'm not actually, I don't really tell you not to be on social media. Hello from New Zealand, Craig and Joseph. You know what it is. Ashke, JV, Bazooka Aunt, Dolph, Prasad. So, anyway. In my video, I showed you that there is no escaping Facebook. This is something that I don't know what to say because people repeatedly ask me this question, and I really don't have an answer for you because you can get any product from me. You can get a Brax router, you can get a de-Googled phone, you can use my VPN, you can use any VPN, you can do all that. And guess what's going to happen? Facebook is still going to get your data. It is just so bad that I actually do not have anything that can stop it. There's still a way for me to stop Facebook. And that is a very important point here. If you make a choice to remain with an account on Facebook, then there's not much I can do for you because especially if you run the app, it will be spying on you like crazy. And I'll point out something that is not very clear about what I said about Facebook because some people are just not getting this. Now, Facebook, as I repeated in the video, is made up of 3 main properties, and that is Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. So those 3 share data. There's no escape. If you're on one of those, your data is on the Facebook server. And it's stated on there that they share the data. In fact, it's in the same server farm. So when they bought Instagram, they moved the server farm to where Facebook is. And then when they bought WhatsApp, they did the same. So it's in the same server farm. And now this is the part that I'm trying to make you understand clearly. When you have, let me pull out my phone here. So when you have a phone running a Facebook app, that Facebook app has a device fingerprint, and there's no escaping the device fingerprint when you're using Facebook. So it makes a device fingerprint of this phone. Okay? And if it can't get a device fingerprint, it's going to get what is called a browser fingerprint. Either way, it's a unique identifier of the device, even with or without an identity. Now, a Google phone has no identity, so the only thing that it gets is that, yes, the phone is XYZ123, whatever, some identifier that fingerprint. It's a fingerprint. Now, when you run WhatsApp on the phone, there is no escaping that it's also going to say XYZ123 because the same fingerprinting program is running on WhatsApp. The same fingerprinting program is running on Instagram. So I don't care if you call yourself, James Mason on Instagram and call yourself Nick Jones on Facebook, and then on WhatsApp you call yourself XYZ. You're the same person. So now Facebook has your three identities. It says, oh, it's the same person here. And everyone that you talk to on WhatsApp also has the same pairing of identities. So it's very, very clear to Facebook who you're talking to. Very, very clear. And by the way, they can see your conversations on Facebook with the same person if they happen to be talking to you on Facebook. If you're having a hidden conversation, then they'll be even more suspicious, and it will be based on the metadata that you're talking at certain times. Maybe you're having an affair. Maybe you're a journalist having a secret contact with a contact, a source. Maybe you're a whistleblower. I mean, whatever the reason is, Facebook has your info. And even if you just use Instagram and WhatsApp, then you are always zucked because the identities cross and there is no hiding the identity. Because most of you will say, well, I won't use Facebook, but I'll use Instagram. Or I don't use Facebook and Instagram, but I use WhatsApp. You can't escape. Zuck was very smart because he actually mixed up the three platforms that are so different from each other that, you can actually consider them as different levels of privacy. Except Zuck is not like that. Zuck is really zucked up. So he's like, we're going to spy on you. We're going to do whatever we can to get your data, no matter what you do. There's no escaping. There's no escaping the Zuck. So he's going to get you. And sure enough, he's been doing this for years. Now, the stuff about changes to the privacy policy is false. They were already doing this. It was already. I read it in the terms of use, 4 or 5 years ago. They haven't changed anything. All they did was say we're going to put it in the terms of service of each one of the sub apps. So don't ask me for help if you're going to be on summary. This is the summary point. Don't ask me for help if you're going to be on Facebook. Because don't ask me for the Google phone if you're going to be on Facebook. Don't ask me for what's the best app to use for security if you're going to be on Facebook. Or any of the three apps. Don't ask for any of that, because if you can't make the sacrifice for your own protection to leave those three platforms, then there's nothing I can do, because the enemy is just too tough. The enemy won. So the only way to play the game is to. The only way to win is to not play the game, as they say in war games. The only way to win is to not play. So that's the only, with Facebook. So unfortunately, there is no protection you can put on a phone when you're running Facebook. There's nothing I can put on here. Absolutely nothing. So that is definitely a social media set of apps that you should not be using. Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Now, some of you will say, well, I do a business on Facebook. Well, in theory, if you don't have any real contacts and all the people that you talk to on Facebook are just relatives, I mean customers, yeah, I guess you could call that a business thing. But once you start putting in your personal stuff on there, that's it. You're done. You're done. You made the choice. You made the choice, and sometimes the choice is financial, and you say, "Well, I make money from Facebook." Well, that's a choice you got to make. So it's not a choice, I will tell you. Now, having said this, I want to make it clear: I am not against you using social media. Can you text and send images? Well, of course. Well, it's a phone. It does phone things. T-Snow. It's a phone. You're like thinking that a de-Googled phone somehow gets into dark ages. Well, I'm running Signal on here, and I can see people sending me pictures and things. So, yeah, I'm running Signal, XMPP, Conversation is the app for XMPP. What else am I running here? I'm running navigation for a boat. Waze runs. I have no use for it, but it's installed. What else do I have on here? I can watch YouTube on NewPipe. I have Netflix. I have Spotify. I have Kindle. Let's see. Weather and all that. Boating stuff. I'm running all the messaging apps like Briar and Session and all that. Yeah. Then networking, I have a VPN app in here. I have Orbot, K9 email for email. I mean, it's not that unusual from a phone. The only thing missing is there's no Google app, so I can't go be I can't run YouTube Studio, for example, except on the browser, and the browser doesn't have a mobile version. So the browser version of YouTube works. I can go into YouTube on the browser directly and log into my account and do all that, but I can't run the studio because they don't have a browser interface on mobile size. Otherwise, I can go run Google even on a browser. And the phone is not identified, so Google doesn't get any extra information about this phone. So it's fine. Nothing, there's a few sacrifices, and I wouldn't say it's much, you just have to get out of believing that the Google ecosystem or the Facebook ecosystem or any of that are really critical. They're not. You can even, if you happen to love Twitter, you can run Twitter. I don't have Twitter in here, but I could load Twitter. Twitter runs. So, yeah. Instagram would run, but I just told you, don't do that. Pandati Bob, how can VPN services afford unlimited data when my internet provider charges me $100 per month and still limits me? Panawood Bob, it's a good question. The margins on a VPN are very small. So, yeah, the bandwidth is very expensive. And so if you're thinking that a VPN provider makes big bucks, they're doing it by having a lot of people. Now, I don't have a lot of people, compared to the big guys. My VPN service is not made for that. So I'm not really looking for, expanding and giving freebies and giving all these marketing tricks. It's not important because it's really just to support the people who use my Brax router. So anyway, what social media can you use? What social media do I approve you to use? Well, here's the thing. I myself, obviously, am not on Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. And some of you have fled from WhatsApp to Telegram. Some of you use Signal, but Signal's not really social media. Telegram is more social media. Some of you use, Discord and, all of this. Some of you came from Parler. I don't know what happened to Parler now. And so on. So some of you can still use a web interface to some of these. So the issue is not what social media, you got to judge this for yourself. The issue is not, that you cannot go on social media. The issue, as I always say, is identity. Can you go to social media and not be forced to identify yourself? So the best app for non-identification is BraxMe. BraxMe is my app. And there, there's a lot of you on BraxMe now. It's amazing. It's just, we're from a nothing. It went to approaching 40,000 users in a matter of a couple of weeks. So yeah, there's almost 40,000 users now on BraxMe in a couple of weeks. Now, what is that? Why is BraxMe unique? It's social media. Yes, it is. It is encrypted, so you can have private conversations. But the main issue with BraxMe that's kind of unique, and unique really compared to anyone else, is that BraxMe does not require an identity. So when you're talking to people, the app doesn't collect your email address or phone number. There's no requirement for it. Obviously, if you buy from me, I gotta know who to ship the product to. But that aside, the app itself does not collect information about each and every one of you. It doesn't collect IP addresses. It doesn't identify you in a way that could compromise your identity. There is no Google Analytics inside the app itself. There is on the BraxMe outside page, but not on the app inside. So nobody really knows the kind of traffic it generates because there's no Google Analytics. So I'm telling you right now, it's close to 40,000 users have gone to BraxMe. And again, when you go to BraxMe, I don't force you to tell me your real name. You don't have to. You can. It's a safe platform. You don't have to. A lot of people don't. You can use an email just to be able to recover your password, but I don't care what email you use as long as you're able to recover your password. If you don't want to use an email or a phone number, which you can also use, you can make it Google Voice. It doesn't matter what it is. You can also use Google Authenticator or Authy to create a OTP, one-time password code that you can use instead of logging in. So you can log in with OTP. So every time you come in, just log in OTP using Authy and you're in. You're always in as long as you know that. So it doesn't matter if your password changed. You can always override it as long as you have Authy or Google Authenticator. Any OTP, TOTP provider, time-based one-time password. Okay, so Authy, Google Authenticator, and so on. Would you be interested in a free new video intro? Let me know some of the best way to get in touch, transfer the files over to you. That's very, very kind of you. That's very, very kind of you. Yeah, you can just contact me on BraxMe, obviously. That's very nice of you to offer that. It's very time consuming to make, intro videos. So here we go. Apps isn't picking up my location properly. So anyway, many of these supposed apps that a lot of people are jumping into because they're leaving, Facebook, Twitter, MAGA FT basically. So those who are leaving MAGA FT are saying, okay, I'm going to go to Parler and to Gab and all this. And yet the first thing that these apps ask for is your email, your phone number. I mean, see, BraxMe doesn't have that. It doesn't require any of that. It does not require any of it. It's really made for people to have no identity. Because you can call yourself anything. And that could be a bad thing because people will, come up with sock puppets and have 50 accounts. But sorry, my audio is distorting. Let me not get too close then to the microphone. So the play button is bittersweet because I love Brax, but I hate Google. That's okay. People say you're such a hypocrite. You're on YouTube. You're right. So if I didn't have YouTube, then you wouldn't be here with 220,000 subscribers. So yeah, I mean, accuse me all you want, but I was doing it the other way and just hiding and not doing anything. So play the game. So what is the game? Well, just change your name on Google. Nobody said you have to use your real name on Google. Call yourself Mad Cow. All of you call yourself Mad Cow. So it's never unsafe when you don't use your real name and take some of the precautions I teach you on browser isolation. And if you're actually not using YouTube anyway and using it indirectly on the Google phone, you're using NewPipe, it's pretty good. Hello, Mickey Leaks. Okay, WikiLeaks. Let me show that because it filtered that. filtered your post there. You must have said something that the algorithm doesn't like. So basically the answer is, it doesn't matter if you use YouTube. It doesn't matter if you use Telegram. It doesn't matter. Telegram, for example, I don't like Telegram because it asks for a phone number. So people are saying, oh, let's leave WhatsApp, let's go to Telegram, and yet it has the same problem, the phone number. So people say, well, you don't have to use your same phone number. It's like, it's just so many tricks and so many difficult things to do. So yeah, there's an app that doesn't require a phone number. It's called BraxMe. Now, I'm not pushing BraxMe. You don't have to go to BraxMe. There's enough people on BraxMe. But it's just interesting with the design of apps. Over the years that I've designed BraxMe, the main point was no identity. And to this day, it's actually pretty unique. There are which social media do you have that has no identity? I can't even I can hardly think of one. I can't think of one because they all require you to Twitter. You can have a fake identity, but then they require you to put a phone number in and all that. So I don't really know of any app that doesn't require any of that. So come over to BraxMe if you want. Join the 40,000 people. We're getting close to 40,000. So join the 40,000 people on there. It can get kind of crazy, but So are you okay if you say you want to use Telegram? Yes. I'm not going to stop you from going to any social media as long as you don't use your real name. The main problem is the identity part. So as long as you find a way to change your identity, including with a phone number on for two-factor authentication, such as by using Google Voice or some burner phone or some number that's not permanent, and use that for app authentication, then you may be able to get away with going to any social media as long as you don't use your real name. And the other thing that I really suggest for you, for many of you, is be careful about your face. If you're on social media a lot with your face, then your face is going to be connected to other identities. Now, some of you are saying, you're being disingenuous there, Rob, because here you are on YouTube showing your face, and and yet you're telling us to worry about posting our photos elsewhere. Well, the reason is I'm a little bit more prepared than you are. You see, I don't have any pictures on the internet, and this is since the beginning of the internet, because I knew about this. I have not put any pictures on the internet associated with me, aside from this new topic of doing privacy in the last 7 years or so. So the only thing about me on the internet is this face talking about privacy. So it's okay. Promotes me, no problem. But I was smart because I never put my photo in there before. But now I'm putting it in for a reason, and it is a bit of a sacrifice to do it. But hey, it's working here. And can you believe, guys, that this channel now has 220,000 subscribers? Oh my gosh, 220,000 subscribers. Thank you, Jonathan Potter. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. So 220,000 subscribers. And I'm going to tell you that very shortly, this channel will be the largest privacy channel on YouTube. There's only one privacy-based or privacy-focused YouTuber that's a little larger than me, but I'm so close, I'm catching up, that I'm even going to surpass even that person because I have more views and more increases in subscribers. So I will actually, I will actually be very soon the largest privacy channel on YouTube. So I'll be the largest privacy channel on YouTube. So I don't know of anybody else that's going to compete. So at the moment, I am my view count and increase my views per month, subscribers per month exceeds anyone. So my traffic actually exceeds many people at 500,000 subscribers. So it's the channel's getting very big now, which means I don't have time to chat anymore. I'm still responding to all of your comments, which is like really, really difficult to do. But I'm doing it because that's how I get to you and get your thoughts. And some of you continue to insult me on your comments, which is fine. But yes, so this is now going to be the largest channel and on privacy at some point here, very soon. So just before I get into opening, this box here, let me just tell you that this broadcast is sponsored by Linode. Now, I use Linode as my data center, and I've been using them for many, many months now, and took away my business from Amazon. Some of you are complaining, you're still on Amazon. Well, yeah, very little of my business is on Amazon now. Most of it is on other companies, including Linode. Linode is definitely my favorite. So I'm on Linode with most servers. I have a lot of servers on Linode. So if you use the link linode.com/Rob Braxman, you get $100 credit for setting up a server on Linode for up to 2 months. So you have $100 to spend if you use that coupon linode.com/Rob Braxman. So if you want to set up your own server, your own website, your own Nextcloud, people are keep asking me, what do I use to replace Google Drive? And the answer is Nextcloud, because it works on mobile. I have a video on that. I have a video on making your own XMPP server. So all of that I would put in Nextcloud. You can install your own Jitsi server for your own private video. So that's the place to go. Linode, and $100 2-month credit to your account. Now, so we got this box here. So we're gonna open up. I don't know what it looks like. Don't know what it looks like. Hoping it's got my blade. Hopefully it's correct. Would it be funny if I get it and it's wrong spelling or something? Okay, so we're gonna open this up for the first time here. So hopefully it's good. Don't know what it looks like. Okay, there's a letter from Susan, the CEO of YouTube. Okay, you're 100 or you're 100,000. Chances are you do, and we know that you'll definitely remember your 100,000 subscriber. Actually, I don't know who that person is. I just know I got there. So, okay, so there's the letter from Susan. Somebody can pronounce her name. I can never pronounce her name. Wojcicki. Okay, so let's see. Some sort of what is this? I guess some sort of inspection thing. This award was inspected and packaged with great care by Rick. Thank you, Rick. Rick took care of this. Okay, so Rick is going to watch the show so he can say, oh yeah, I packaged that very carefully. And here it is. Big heavy thing here. Actually pretty hefty. Let me take it out. Hopefully they spelled everything right. Presented to Rob Braxman Tech for passing 100,000 subscribers from YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. Now, apparently, they don't give this out to everyone. They don't give it out to every person that reaches 100,000. So apparently that's not a given. They do not award it to YouTubers they do not like. For example, if you're into politics that they don't like, I actually don't know what the rule is. It just says politics is one of them. So if you're a political YouTuber, I wonder if it's specific to a side. I wonder if it's specific to a side, but apparently they do not give. You got to get approval. So the moment you get your 100K subscribers, then you have to apply again. And a month later they ignored me. They didn't say anything. So I contacted them twice, and then the third time they actually then checked it out and said, okay, you qualify. But it took 3 attempts to figure it out, and then they give you a little redeem code. Then you go to this website and you punch in the redeem code, and then they send you the award. And apparently you can order multiple of these. You're not limited to one. You can put your name on multiple. Is Matrix better than Braxme? Matrix is different than Braxme. Matrix has its purpose. There's no such thing as better or worse. Now, Matrix has more identity information. Braxme does not. Matrix is pretty good. You can use Matrix. No problem with Matrix. Okay, Philippi 2. Would you be willing to be a guest on another podcast? I don't know. It's the problem mostly is time. These podcasts, they take up an hour, and then you have to prep for it, and then you have to set up. And I have so little time right now. So maybe later when things have settled down, maybe I'll For example, I have a moratorium on consults. I can't do consults. So people ask me for help. Sorry, I have to keep my sanity. I just want to make it clear. It's not that I'm avoiding you or not wanting to or ignoring my subscribers, because you brought me here to this 100K to now 220K, 300K shortly here. But, I got here because of you. The problem is when you grow like this, so we went for, I remember when Linode took me as sponsored me, I only had 40,000 subscribers, I think, when Linode sponsored me. And now I actually am rejecting 90% of the sponsorships. I don't even care about the sponsorships. It just takes too much time. I sponsored one other company, and it would just took too much of my time. It wasn't worth it. So yes, in case you're wondering, yes, I've been offered sponsorships by PIA, all the VPN companies, PIA, NordVPN, who else? So many other VPN companies. They've many companies have offered me electronics products and game chairs, and they want me to sponsor everything. And guess what? Notice that I don't really have a lot of advertising. I don't have a lot of sponsorships. I have my own products, and I make enough money from my own products that it doesn't matter. I don't need to waste my time right now. More of the issue is to do a good job servicing the clients that I already have from you, and doing a good job with that, and being able to still survive with sleep. The problem is I am so out of sleep. I worked 16-hour days every day, no breaks. I don't get 8 hours of sleep because there's no time, and it's been like this for a month. So usually I get at least a day off, and now I have not gotten any days off. It's just been massive volume, and Braxme kind of blew up here. The Of the almost 40,000, close to 40,000 subscribers in Braxme, most of that came in the last month. So it's massive. So when people jumped into Brax, some bugs appeared because we've never gotten such volume in a very short amount of time. So a lot of that's been worked on, and things are much better. And as far as running the app, but my time, guys. So don't chat with me if you can right now. Don't chat with me. Don't start a conversation with me. I'm very visible in the community areas, but I got to deal with wasting my time with trolls. So many trolls, so many people, posting nonsense and spamming and what. Well, not so many people, one person. So okay, catch you on the bands. 73 Bodacious. Bodacious. I don't really rag chew, so I do more R&D stuff. I don't have time to rag chew, so I'm not really a rag chewing kind of guy. Then correct if it is wrong. The fact Element got banned from Play Store. Suck. Why? They're talking politics and Element. I mean, it's just this crazy stuff. Okay, Braxme is not a political site. There's everyone from everywhere on there, and everyone's welcome. And that's the way you don't get banned, is you get everyone in there. So Braxme is not it is a free speech site, but it's not. I don't. You nowadays you can't call yourself a free speech site because they'll cancel you out. But my response is, who cares? I don't really care if anybody cancels me out. I don't really care. So I don't really make money from the app, so it doesn't matter to me. It's more for you. However, having said that, I'm going to just make this quick mention here, and it's something that Braxme was designed for in the past, and it actually was not running because I haven't focused on it, and there were some changes made, and Braxme wasn't supporting it. And Braxme has a feature called Social Vision. Let me just tell you what this is briefly, because I haven't really promoted it. But anyone who wants to go to Braxme and test it out, because I just want to test it, I'll give you a 60-day test. I'll give you a coupon. You try it for 60 days, and then you come back and tell me if it works or not, if I can do it for you or not. I'll give you a free coupon, 60-day coupon, to try it out. And what it is called Social Vision. And what Social Vision is you can actually create your own version of Braxme within Braxme. So you can actually have your own subgroup. You can even make it private so they don't see anybody else but you. So you can put your family into a Braxme Social Vision, and only your family will see each other. Nobody will be there. Nobody can intercept. There will be no trolls, nobody else but you. If you have a private business, you can say, contact me on my app, Braxme/home/my business. And then they automatically, if anybody automatically signs up, it creates an automatic chat message to you, and you create a website. All of that's automatic. You don't have to think about anything. It's done with a wizard, and it's a service that makes it a kind of a safe way to do a lot of the stuff, and you don't have to set up a website. You don't have to get a domain. You don't have to do anything. It's all done for you. So all you have to do is say brax.me/home/whatever, your domain name, or you can say your domain name .brax.me, but it's not HTTPS. The HTTPS one is the link I just gave you. And you can do this with Social Vision. Again, if you want to try Social Vision, you can upgrade your account from a standard BraxMe account to Social Vision using a coupon, and anybody wants to try it out, I suggest you create a new account so you can play with it. Don't disrupt your existing account. Make a new account of BraxMe. Ask for the coupon code. Do you want to know the coupon code? I'll tell you the coupon code. Demo 102. There, you have the coupon code. Demo 102. So, run that, and then you'll actually see that you can create your own domain with your own blogs, your own chat, very private, just for you, or not. You can actually mix it up with the rest of us in Brax. And if you're using the private version of the enterprise, then you're actually like on your own. And we don't see anything. Nobody else from the outside of your community can join in. So it's a nice little feature. All you have to do if you want to test this out, is just for fun, go into BraxMe, set up your account that you want to play with. If you have an existing account, maybe you want to make a new one so it's not the same. Then go into settings, and then there will be a option there for store, BraxMe Services Store, and there you can put the coupon code. Now, the only thing that I'm telling you here is that you cannot create a Social Vision account on a phone. The App Store does not allow services on the store to be sold without them taking a cut. So the only way to do it is from a browser. So run a browser, whether it be a phone or not, run a browser, and then you can do it. So can't be the app, at least the first time. What to sign up. Once you're signed up, you can go use the app. Okay. How do you privately send a donation to BraxMe? You can just PayPal to rob@brax.me. That's one. Or if you want to send a money order or crypto or whatever, you can certainly do that. I really appreciate it. Sustaining this channel is only possible because of your help, and this channel has grown. It's now a real company with employees, and very, very busy here, very, very busy, and to go from a small operation to I'd open up an office. I've opened up an office, but it's COVID, so I can't even open up an office. So a lot of our work has to be done virtually because I can't even physically open up an office because of COVID. But it's getting big enough that I really need to spread out a little bit. So thank you, Evan. What's your thoughts on cryptocurrencies? Obviously, I not only take cryptocurrencies, but I made many videos about it. But YouTube doesn't like me talking about cryptocurrencies, so we'll talk about that in a different channel. And there's a cryptocurrency chat on BraxMe. Maybe you can get people talking on there. I used to talk there a lot, even watch the market and kind of talk about market direction. Do you ever firewall your browser? Fire jail? Don't know what that means. I don't need to do anything other than browser isolation. Send him your money, Rich Zox. I don't have any money, electronically speaking, but if I did, that's what John the Savage said. But because he said a bad word, then it didn't let him post that. Dick's out for Harambe. Is that guy a troll? Is this guy Harambe a troll? Looks like we got a troll in here. Okay. Okay, I guess let's get rid of you here then. So yep, see, time consuming to even get rid of the guy. Okay, so anyway, by the way, I've been doing this for 7 years now. talking about privacy, uh, making no money actually for 6 of those 7 years, and negative cash flow. Fortunately, I did not start out, I have money, so I have my own money. So I was able to fund Braxme on my own and sustain myself. And I really had no income for 7 years. And I basically was spending my retirement money to fund this operation. And so I'm thankful that it's a real business now, but it doesn't come easy. I mean, it's when you went as long as I did without any income, then you appreciate that this is not like it just happened. Okay, it's a lot of work to do this. Do you have many customers from Brazil? I have some customers from Brazil. I wouldn't say Brazil would be a lot of customers, and the reason is because most of my customers are from English speaking countries. Since I don't have any translation, I guess I have to hire a translation for other languages. So since I don't have that, then maybe I will later on. New subscriber, thank you, Mad Dog MMA. I can do a OnePlus 7 Pro. I have one. Somebody just sent a BYOD. OnePlus 7 Pro is one of the ones I have done. Manchester, UK. I've been to Manchester. Yes, I've been to when was the last time I was in Manchester? Goodness, a long time ago. Long time ago. They still put fish and chips in newspapers at the pub. They still wrap the fish and chips in the London Times. They don't do that anymore, apparently. But back then, they did. So that was the last time I was in Manchester. Thoughts on Dropbox? Any of these apps, like Dropbox, there's no encryption. So why? Why are you putting it there? Kind of like Google Drive. Why are you using Google Drive? So you're saying you're willing to put, especially schools, every school is saying, oh, we're going to put all our student stuff in Google Drive. So they put their term papers and with their name and address and all that on there. All the way from elementary school all the way to college or even grad school, they're using Google Drive. And then you put your photos in Google Photos, which they do facial recognition on, and you're supplying data to the big, AI. It's like so stupid. So no, I've never used Google Drive. If you want to come to Brazil, be my guest. Thank you, Aver Mueller Gonçalves. Gonçalves. I have not been to Brazil, but guess what? My sister lived in Manaus. My sister lived in Manaus, Brazil. So she lived there for 3 years in Manaus, Brazil. So I had a relative in Brazil. My sister lived everywhere. So her husband was a expat and being placed by the big company, the multinational in various countries, and so she's lived everywhere. So I think she's lived in, I can't even count, at least 10 countries. So Google plays a large role into progressive brainwashing of our kids. So one of the things that just caution you is when you choose social media, is start thinking about relying on putting your data onto sites that obviously read them and sell your data. Thank you, Matthew Meditz. Matthew Meditz, thank you. So Google obviously is one of those. So why are you using Google? Now, Dropbox doesn't sell your data necessarily, but it's not encrypted. So why put it there? Manaus is kind of hell now because of the COVID. Really? I'm chugging a 40 miles. They say with 5G, they can even track you. 5G will track you to what? Inches. Beamforming. That's what 5G is, beamforming. They're putting 5G is actually not 5G yet. They call it 5G, but it's a marketing thing. There's a real 5G and there's the close to 5G. So the current 5G, supposedly from AT&T and T-Mobile, isn't really 5G. And so when they're saying we have 5G phones, there really isn't 5G yet. 5G is millimeter waves, which is above, like 10 gigahertz and up, 14 gigahertz and up, somewhere in there. So between, I'm going to guess, between 15 to 30 gigahertz. And which is, your Wi-Fi is what, 5 gigahertz on the 5 gigahertz of 5G. What is it? 5 gigahertz band. There's a 2.4 gigahertz band, 5 gigahertz band, and the 5G is 10 and above. So the reality is we're not even there yet, because they're using the current ones, which are 800 to 1,000 to 800 megahertz to 1 gigahertz, and they're calling that 5G just because they're doing beamforming. But it's not really 5G yet. It's still the same as the old one. So we're not there at that stage yet where they're actually pinpointing you. So if somebody says, do you want to be in 5G? I want a 5G phone. I'm going to say, suck that. It's the last thing you want. If you can get to stay on LTE as long as you can, LTE can't pinpoint you. Only 5G can. So what do you like better, Linux or Tails? What kind of question is that? Tails is Linux. 60 gigahertz carrier signal for 5G should be illegal. 60 gigahertz. I mean, we're getting close to microwave, burning you up with a microwave there. Why don't they do medical studies to make sure 5G will make us live longer? It took a while to even do the 3G studies. Is there a way to de-Google a Chromebook? Yes, throw it away. Throw it away. Do not ever get a Chromebook. Do not ever get a Chromebook. Somebody said, oh, you can load Linux on a Chromebook. Wrong. If you put Linux on a Chromebook, you're actually running Linux inside Chrome. You're a child process inside Chrome. Oh, you have a sister. TMI. 5G is whack. 6G is where it's at. My license is still good. Joe Smith, Mad Dog MMA. Okay, 60 gigahertz is frequency water rotates. 60 gigahertz? You sure it's gigahertz? So anyway, back to our topic here. So when you're choosing social media and things, watch where you store your data. So Google Drive and iCloud have both stated openly that they're going to do facial recognition on your photos. Even Apple does it on their photos. They want to be able to, when you do iMessage, they want to be able to connect, who's on your photos on iCloud. So if you think that using iCloud is a great solution, I don't know what to tell you. And Google Drive, so I would never load Google Drive. By the way, the Google phone has no access to Google Drive. Just has no login to Google. Therefore, it has no Google Drive. So some of you have said, okay, I have the Google phone and I don't have Google Drive. So how do I unload the photos on here? Of course, one of the ways to do it is to run Nextcloud, a Nextcloud server. But let's just say you don't want to do that. You're not techie, you don't know how to do that. It's very simple. On the latest batch of phones that we've been shipping in the last month or so, we have been enabling file transfer between this phone and your computer. So all you do is plug in the cable to the phone and into your computer, and you will see it in your file manager. And then just grab the photos and remove them. So then you don't have to worry about, I need a phone with 128 gigabytes because I put all my live photos in here. You don't have to worry about that transferred to your computer. File transfer is enabled. If you have a phone that we did not enable file transfer, I'll write the explanation on how to do the file transfer. You just have to enable it in developer options. So to summarize, if you have one of these, you go to developer mode, developer options, and there's something there called USB configuration, and there's an option that if you insert a cable, it will go into file transfer mode. That's it. Plug it in, put it into your computer, and you can take your photos out. You don't have to rely on some app to do it for you. Okay? Can I store data in Google Drive as zip or ISO format? Why? Why? Then you connect it to Google. You cannot have a Google phone. Why? Now there's a private company that actually offers end-to-end encryption on drives. It's called pCloud. You pay extra for it. The rest is not fully encrypted. It's not end-to-end. They encrypt it, but not fully end-to-end. pCloud is a better option than Dropbox because of that. They're not a sponsor. I did use pCloud for a while. I don't need it because I have my own servers. But yeah, pCloud, if you want a cloud provider that can do end-to-end encryption, you can pay them. I guess if you think about it, it's like the cost of buying a drive. So per year. So it's not too much, and then you can have it kept encrypted end to end. I was going to make my own program to do end-to-end encryption, and I might still do that, but I'm too busy now. I was going to do that. I was going to make you a utility so you can do your own end-to-end encryption storage and saving it to Linode servers. And I actually didn't have time to do it, but it's on the list of things to do. Why not have a micro SD slot and hot swap your data? Well, it has a USB-C, so yeah, you can do that. Plug in a USB-C port on the bottom and insert an external storage. You probably will be able to do it, but it's usually you want to manage your storage, but you could probably do that. Yes. Is Galaxy Store a better Google Store in terms of privacy? No. It's not the store. Google Play Store is running on here using a spoofer called Aurora Store. Galaxy Store is Google. You have to log in with Google credentials. So what hater troll alert. Who's the hater now? Do we need to ignore this hater? The troll is back. Who cares about the troll? He can troll all he wants. No need to waste time on a zucking troll. They're yeah. Ignore trolls. They're kind of useless. They think they're actually accomplishing anything. Why don't you get yourself 220,000 subscribers? Then maybe people will listen to you. Somebody actually made a video of me once taking something I said, and then came up with an explanation that nobody should use a VPN because he wanted to promote people using proxy servers. It's like, sucked up. So anyway, yes, and of course I have a lot of enemies. Yeah, so I don't know, who cares? So who cares? So whatever you want to do. So anyway, so pCloud has encrypted end-to-end encrypted storage. Somebody can check and see if they find a company that does end-to-end encrypted storage, and we can check those out as well to see if 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 they're real. Now pCloud, when they market it, they say encrypted, but it's not end to end, and then you find out that their cheap version does not have end to end. You have to pay extra monthly. So they say we'll give you 100 gigabytes or whatever, 200 gigabytes, lifetime free for this one price. So basically, they're just buying you a hard drive, and you think that has all of it, and then it turns out it doesn't have end-to-end encryption. You still have to pay for that monthly. So there's no escaping the monthly on even a pCloud. pCloud is not a sponsor. Skylin, thank you. Where to start? So leave Facebook. That's where you start. So anyway, how about other social media? So, for example, we all hate all these companies that censor us, and an example of a company of a platform that constantly censors is Twitter. Twitter would have been good because Twitter actually has no identity, except it requires you to put a phone number in. But I use Google Voice, so in a lot of ways, I can keep Twitter pretty safe. So I don't really have anything, no identifiers on Twitter, and they allow that. So it's one of the few sites where you can do that. And as long as it allows me to use Google Voice for my two-factor authentication, then we're cool. But do you really want to be on Twitter? So that's a different question, right? So it depends. It depends on, if it's okay with you to be censored. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth when, when all these censoring and cancel culture and all this is like, I don't know. It just boggles the mind. It just boggles the mind. I don't want to use any platform that where they can control what I can see. I want to be able to go to a platform where I see what I want to see, and I make the choice, not somebody making the choice for me. Now, wonder what this troll's problem is. So this troll wants to. Do you have questions about the product? All I know is you're saying a lot of. I'm not even know what you're saying, but who cares about you? You really just want to cause trouble here, right? If you don't want my products, then don't buy it. The thing about when I sell my products, it's always a money-back guarantee. So, no one can tell me here, well, I bought your product and, you cheated me. And okay. If you are not satisfied, I give you your money back. Even if I lose money, I give you your money back. Okay. So that's the way I roll. I don't. It's not that important to me. Okay. So you're a great example right now of why people shouldn't see. I should just avoid reading this guy because he's corrupting my program here. So anyway, so use any platform that you want if you're able to not use your identity, and just be careful about what photos you put on it. So I'm actually very, very concerned about sites that collect EXIF data, EXIF on photos. So you upload a photo and they collect your data, and then they get your location information, device information, and all of that. So that's the kind of stuff that it's kind of a marker of a bad platform. So most of that is derived from Facebook and Google and so on. I don't really see that. Even Twitter, I don't think was doing that. to be honest. I don't think they were taking EXIF data from photos. But I always clean up the images before I send it elsewhere by passing it through an EXIF cleaner. By the way, if you upload your photos to BraxMe and download it, it cleans up the EXIF, the EXIF data. So BraxMe already has that. You upload it to Brax and you can download it anytime you want, and it will be clean. And then you can use it. To your social media posting. Okay, so yeah, this sorry, just sure being interrupted by stupid individuals here. So, okay, anyway, can't really focus on all of this right now. One of the things that, that make me unique in the whole time that I've been living my life, and just so you know this, just as a matter of principle, is that I have never cheated anyone in my entire life. So, just so you know that. I have never cheated, and I've been cheated many times. I've been cheated of my life savings. I've been cheated of my retirement. I've been cheated of many things in my life, but I have never cheated anyone in my life. So, that's just my philosophy, and I don't really have to explain that further, but come on over to BraxMe and, where we don't have to worry about stupid people. Okay, so respectfully, how do we know or anyone are not an employee of a three-letter agency? David, what in what I'm saying benefits a three-letter agency? I mean, let's just be serious here. What exactly do I do that benefits a three-letter agency? By the way, just as an example, let's say you go to BraxMe. BraxMe is an open source app. BraxMe does not collect IP addresses or any information. Proton Mail and all of these, Proton VPN and all of this, those are the suspicious ones because they've been claimed to be connected financially with three-letter agencies or people from three-letter agency backgrounds. What is my connection with that? Do I have any connection with that? So, I don't know. I have no actual idea what the connection is. You're free to choose whatever you want to choose. So, this troll should reach out for professional help. You're free to choose whatever you want to choose, but certainly if you think that I'm here promoting interests of some other party, I don't know how they can benefit. All I talk about here is pretty much destroying the reputation of three-letter agencies, and you're saying that I help them in some way? Don't know how. Okay? So tell me if you know how, because I don't know how. Okay. So Laser Hobbyist. Thank you, Laser Hobbyist. So anyway, we do have a home where we can protect ourselves from censorship, from, at least in the privacy side, from anyone, and that is my own platform, and that is BraxMe. So come join us on BraxMe. Not pushing it at all. I mean, there's enough users, so I don't need any more traffic necessarily. But it's a place for us where everyone is there sharing the same belief about privacy. You don't have to share the same political beliefs, just to share the same beliefs about privacy. So that's that's my platform, and it is open source, and your stuff is encrypted, though it's social media, so it doesn't matter. The encryption is not the important part. The important part is you don't have any identity in a forum that protects you because it doesn't collect your information. RBL is a 3-letter O. So any more questions here? Any more questions here? So the problem is that we have a lot of junk questions from a troll here. Killer Writer, thank you very much. Crypto wallets work on the Google phones? Yeah. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I have a video on incognito.org. So Incognito wallet, which I know works. I tested that. Do you have an update on when you think one of the OSs will be ready for daily use on the Pine phone? No, James Miller. At the moment, no. I'm going to tell you that Channel for Grace. Thank you, Channel for Grace. Good to see you. I thought that the Linux people would, step up to the plate a little sooner, and I don't know. Maybe they're not motivated. I don't know. Things are so slow. Even some of the basic things are not working yet. And I can't believe that, LTE and all that, LTE data and phone calling and texting are still not stable. It's just, just basic functionality. If we can't even get that basic phone stuff running, how do we get to the next level? At this point, it's really not practical to expect a Linux. Use the Linux phone for play, but if you're going to use it as a daily driver, it's not ready for that. You really need to use the Google phone for daily driver until such a time as we can have the a Linux phone that's ready. The Google phone is much better usability wise because you can run most apps that you can't do on a Linux phone. And the other issue is that the Google phone is actually much more secure than a Linux phone. So it's pretty hard. Hello, Peter Smith, my friend. So it's very hard to hack a Android. I'll be frank with you. An Android phone of Android 10, 910, they've done a good job with the base Android. It's very, very secure. Certainly compared to a standard Linux. If you have a standard Linux, all you have to do is take the SIM card out, and you already got everything. So there's not a real protection for mobile on a Linux phone. So because they're not designed for that yet, they're really made to be running like a desktop. So they're not as hardened. They have, for example, I need to make a video about this, is about SE Linux. So on Android, it runs with a security policy from SE Linux, which is the NSA developed technique for handling policies, behavior on a phone, so that on Linux, so that bad apps don't get to control your computer. Well, that is very, very well developed with all the permission settings and all that. It's not perfect, but it's fairly well developed on Android. There is actually no equivalent control on Linux. For example, you can't control sensors separately on Linux. If you want to control a sensor, you actually have to write your own program or go to the command line and terminate a Linux service. So it's kind of indirect, and there's so many ways to get hacked on Linux. And some of you actually don't understand this. You actually think that Linux is more secure. It actually is not. Security experts know this. Linux has a lot of flaws for mobile because it wasn't really designed for mobile. It's not. So Social Vision is BraxMe. Coach, Constance. Social Vision is just BraxMe. It's just a service inside BraxMe. It is not part of the open source. So the main open source in BraxMe is the same, but the Social Vision aspect is not, and that's the element that has to do with making websites, creating a subgroup inside, and some wizards to automate a lot of the processes for making rooms, blogs and chats. It automates it, so it's really, you can get up and running. Social Vision gets you up and running pretty much within a minute. You build your platform in a minute because of the wizard. So that's what Social Vision is. So come test it out on Brax. Set up your account, and you can get a 60-day trial using my coupon code on it. The coupon code is demo102. It's only 60 days, but should be good enough to try it out. Okay? So anyway, any more questions? We're like being somebody takes up all the room on the chat here. Any thoughts on the open source Haiku? I don't know what that is. What laptop do you recommend? Obviously, you can use any laptop you want, but just some basic principles that you need to understand. Unlike other people, I don't push you to use Linux versus Windows versus Mac. I probably push you against a Mac. I'd probably push you to either Linux or Windows, and the reason for that is that you can actually tweak Windows to be safe. It's a lot of work, but I did in my video, and you can make Windows safe and make it not connect and call home. And the reason for that is the way Windows was built. It was made to be very, very modular, so you can actually take pieces out. So it's going to be hard for them to make that fix because they wanted this open architecture, since the beginning of Windows. Mac OS X or Mac OS doesn't operate like that. You only get one source of the OS, and it's from Apple, and there's really no escaping whatever they put on there. So and they don't publish anything; it's all secret. Where on Windows, it's less of a secret. So on Windows, they try to spy on you, but they can't because they're ineffective. Fortunately for us, Linux obviously is a better choice if you don't want to be spied on. But the question really is, what is the choice? Should you use an iPad or should you use Microsoft Surface? So if I'm going to make that choice, I'm going to choose Microsoft Surface because I can configure a Microsoft Surface to work the way I want without it spying, and it doesn't have sensors. Microsoft Surface, the device, does not have sensors. An iPad has a lot of sensors, GPS, that does not exist on Microsoft Surface. Microsoft Surface is just a laptop. So for a casual user that just wants to watch videos and such, Microsoft Surface, with some tweaks, like I teach you, is plenty safe into something that's usable if you are not able to use Linux. And the average user is not able to run Linux because they're afraid of it. And you can't buy it in the store. You have to install manually and so on. So it is a bit of a problem. So for privacy things, I'm not a stickler in saying you have to use Linux. Linux is better for desktop, for laptop, but there are many limitations, including device choices, that prevent you from just doing that. So if you don't have to do it, then I'm saying forget about the M1 chip on a Mac. Uh, I know you love it. I know the technology is pretty cool, but you're going to be tied to the infrastructure, to the ecosystem, and then you're going to be locked in there forever. Okay, so yeah, so don't. So that's not my main choice. Who? So anyway, if you have a goal of privacy in mind, I'm a bit more flexible with that. I myself use Linux. I use Windows. I use a Mac. I use all three. Basically, my Mac is used mostly just for testing things and doing development work related to Apple products, but I don't actually use it anymore. I have several Mac computers here, Apple computers, and I basically stopped using them. So KDE Plasma is a great desktop. So yes, if you're many of the old followers here came to me because I'm a heavy Linux user. Of course, Linux is the best choice. There's no doubt about that. Linux is the best choice. But if you're not able to do it because you can't handle the apps, you don't have the apps you need. For example, I have to use Windows because I don't have a way to run Adobe Premiere Pro on Linux. So I don't have a choice. I got to use Windows. Used to have to recompile my kernel with IRQs and stuff. What is the difference between Tor bridges and a VPN? Chris, I actually want to make a video re-explaining Tor. I want to make a video explaining Tor, VPN, Tor, combining the two, Tor routers, Tor SOCKS 5, Tor browsers. There's a bit of misunderstanding there, and some people are asking me, they don't even know what Tor is. And so I'm thinking about doing that for my next video and explaining Tor in a more advanced way, because there's some advanced features that we don't actually many people don't actually completely understand, like Tor relays and so on. So I make Tor routers, as you know. So I'm a heavy user of Tor services. I'm very familiar with Tor services and doing all that. So I'm knowledgeable to explain what Tor does, and that might be a video that it probably won't be watched a lot. I doubt if people will be. It's kind of technical, but it has to be done. So I will do it for the next round. And I know it's not a popular topic, but it's good for your education. Please do a video on Tor. Yes, so I will do that probably next week. At least that's my thought right now, unless something changes in the environment. If something new comes up, I might change. But at the moment, I'm thinking about making Tor the next video. Tor is developed by the Navy, correct? Originally, you mean? Yeah, that is correct. Would love to hear your ideas about security using in his app. Look for uBlock. It's almost inevitable to learn Ubuntu also because clouds. Regolith Storm. How do we find your de-Googled phones? So my de-Googled phones are in my app on Braxme, and I'm going to, after this video, I'm going to put a lot of phones on there. We do have a lot of phones, boxes and boxes. So we have a lot of phones. So I will. I know the store has no stock right now, but actually this weekend you will have a lot of stock. If you come this weekend to the store, you will find a lot of stock. I'll put lots of stock starting tonight. So that's going to happen tonight. Okay. Let me just get a count of how many we have after this video, and I'll start putting in some tonight and some tomorrow, and then we'll ship it on Monday. Okay. Uh, there's a legitimate discussion here by Rob. Like he's like a teacher. If a person continually disrupts class, then they have to be. Will the Google phones work in New Zealand? Oh, absolutely. I've shipped many phones to New Zealand. Some people ask, will my phones work in Australia? Will my phones work in New Zealand, Netherlands? Will my phones work in Sweden, Finland, Germany, Canada? So Costa Rica, Mexico, Singapore, Hong Kong. I can't even tell you. I've lost track of how many countries I've shipped. So many. I've shipped to quite a few countries. South Africa. I mean, where have I don't think I've shipped to Russia, but I have shipped to a lot of countries. So most of the phones are international phones. There's actually only one phone on my store that is not international, and that is a Moto G7 for USA only. There's two Moto G7s on the store. One is a Moto G7 XT1962-6, which is international, and there's a -1, which is US only. So that's for Verizon. So people use the Moto G7-1 for Verizon. The -6 works for US or anywhere else on AT&T and T-Mobile. So the other one is not limited. So the biggest pain in the butt as far as phones, actually you don't have to ask which phones work everywhere. They work everywhere with the exception of Verizon. In the entire world, the only company that we have to worry about is fucking Verizon in the entire earth. You can run any phone that I sell internationally anywhere as long as it's not made only for Verizon. And yet so many of you are on Verizon. So don't understand why you would want to be on Verizon, because they did a better job in the rural areas, I think, is what they did. But if you can help it, don't use Verizon. One more tip before I go here, because I'm running out of time. So one more tip. Don't buy a phone from a carrier. Always buy a phone from the manufacturer. Example, Google makes Pixels. If you buy a Google Pixel phone from Google, you can OEM unlock it. If you buy a Google Pixel phone from Verizon, you are zucked forever. The phone is useless. It will not retain its value because it cannot work with OEM unlocking. So OEM unlocking retains value more, and there's more demand for it. So it is best to not buy from a carrier. So even if a carrier offers you some sort of special discount, don't. If you have one, sell that and get one that's OEM unlockable. Okay, so that's my suggestion. Some people have asked about Samsungs. Now, I don't do Samsungs right now. Can you de-Google a Samsung phone? At some point, I can de-Google a Samsung phone when I find the time. I happen to have a Samsung phone sitting here. Samsung S9. I have not de-Googled it successfully. If I can de-Google it, then I will start doing that. But the problem is that most of your Samsungs are USA models from carriers, from Verizon, from AT&T, and so on. Those phones cannot be unlocked, cannot be OEM unlocked. So the only Samsungs that can be OEM unlocked are international phones. So these are things you got to learn over time here. So Google Pixels can only be OEM unlocked if they're from Google Store, not from a carrier. If you bought your Samsung Galaxy from any of the local carriers here, can't be done. Okay, so it has to be from a foreign source. And how do you know it's a foreign source? The serial number of the model has an F in it. For example, there's a G960 series, which is the Samsung S9, and there's a G960U, which is the model from the USA, and then there's the G960F, which is the foreign version, and that is the F1 is the only one that you can unlock. So just so you know that. So for future use, let's say you're saying, well, maybe I'm buying this phone now and maybe it can be unlocked someday. You cannot unlock it if it's from the right source, but you can easily sell it though. Phones are easily bought and sold. Okay, so anyway, I'm out of time. So thank you for watching. Like I said, I'm thinking about maybe making the next video about Tor. So that's since that's been asked many times. Password managers, you can use anything you want. I don't know of a bad password manager. I personally use KeePass because it's open source. But I don't personally know of any bad. I mean, no one's told me of one with a bad reputation. G965F, but what is the 965? I only know of a 960. Is that like an XL version? Oh, Kelp's here. Thank you, Peter. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. And Tor. Wow, you all think Tor's a good topic? Okay, well, at least the hardcore followers know Tor's a good topic. I do have an old Tor video, but we'll update it. Thank you, Curve57. So come on over to Braxme and talk to us over there. See you soon. We'll see you in a video in a week. Good night.